2. There we are. We've got audio. Hello, and let's start again. In fact, let's shove a jingle in, shall we? Just pretend this didn't happen. So here we go. Hello and welcome to you, everyone who's watching this Sunday Sound Sessions. It's always good when things work straight away. I know that certainly that was, we did have sound from the actual computer, but nothing was coming from my voice. So, that all said, hello, welcome. It's a bit of a sleepy Sunday morning this morning, I have to be honest with you. I think it's like one of these where I thought, no, I need to get up. I need to make sure that this day begins and that the Sunday Sound Sessions actually goes ahead. So, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching live or on the replay. Any comment that you drop below will be featured, if it's obviously relevant and also applicable. So I'm just using a different kind of angle at the minute. So I thought I would experiment with some camera angles. And also I've got together with some, well, I haven't got together with anybody, but basically I've got to show you some amazing music which I have been reinventing from basically about 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, and hopefully that'll be one thing that you'll enjoy. So we're going to basically rock out, and I'm going to cover a couple of news features as well. So as I say, if you're watching live or on replay, let me know where you're watching from, and let me know if you can hear me, because hopefully you should now be able to hear me in like the first couple of minutes of the stream. So that's all good and well. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we start off with a tune which you will not have heard yet, but one that I reworked probably midweek, I think, this week. And it's called Step by Step. It's quite positive. I think you'll like it. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to press play, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. There we go. So step by step. Oh man. So a friend of mine, Greg, who I've known since uni, had written that probably in the mid 2000s, and I basically brought down a laptop and a very simple MIDI keyboard. It was quite small, and plugged it in, and we just rattled in some ideas, and we recorded him singing in the kitchen. So of course, unearthing all these tunes, you know, nearly 15, 20 years later, I thought, you know, I've got better sounds. I have got better equipment. Let's see if we can rescope some of these sounds, and that's basically what I did. So just going to talk through some of these sounds that I have used. So if you have a look over here, you'll hear we've got some fairly standard sounds, but these are through the ensemble patches of Spitfire Audio. And it's BBC Symphony Orchestra. So these are obviously the violin section. Legato patches. Which are really nice. Interestingly, the style of sounds I used to record this original track were not really designed for what I've just played. They're kind of, because it's quite fast as well. Let me just show you the beginning. So as we come in here, you'll hear what I mean when I play it, when you hear this. These are not really designed for chords, so what I can do simply is just very quickly just change them to longs, and you hear the difference in the sound. Yeah, and you've got a little ensemble there in the strings, so hopefully that will sound a bit better. I'm just put this on, and so yeah, if I just show you this, if I go back to the beginning here. So you'll have a much fuller sound, and then later on when you get to this, so you've got more of a riff, which is like. Now why on earth is in B major? I think it was just easier because string wise a bit more of a challenge, but anyone can play in key. And then of course we move down to the violas. Which you can hear are sounding lovely, if a little quiet. So we can just bump them up a little bit. And those are another legato line. And you can hear quite easily when I just solo that. I'm a huge believer in everything having its own melody and then fitting together, but maybe that's just me. I think ultimately it works, and let's hear the beginning just from that moment. I'm going to talk about the guitars in a moment. Oh, why did it stop? It was going so nicely. Ah. Now not sounding at all. How bizarre. It could, it's not still loading, is it? So this is Abbey Road 2. Let me just reselect this for me. Violin 1, legato. Just say viola, but I'm going to just choose that one. And it could be the range as well, but then the range of the viola shouldn't be too much of a problem. Slur. Here we go. See if that works. Okay, a bit more blended. I might change that again, but we'll see how we go. So let's move down to the other violin sounds then. So we've got... I love these. And of course, with Spitfire, I think once you've purchased your library, it is yours to own. There's no subscription. So you've got the standard you've got standard orchestral sounds here and a really lovely trombone as well. Maybe with a touch too much reverb on there, we can just tone that down a little bit. It's actually easy. Oh, I know why. It's because of the mics, isn't it? So we'll just turn down that mix a little. There we go. That's a little bit better. So when we come to play this one again, let's have a listen to this one. And let's change that to the actual ensemble because I've got more than one part in divisi. Because obviously with a keyboard it's easier to rattle that in rather than doing individual, but obviously that's just me. Oh, I know why. Because I want to have longs. Might change the sound slightly. Not. Okay. Let's hear that one now. I'm going to unsolo it as well. And so we're there. So we're going to go and continue then with the guitars. This is good for solos, and that's kind of how I used it later. Now these mosh pits are part of, I think, the Opus library, and this particular one is Carven Bridge Lead Long mod, and it is part of the, I've forgotten the library now, Ministry of Rock, isn't it? Yeah, because that's why I used it. There is a rock type sound library that Spitfire do, but I quite like these ones. And then you've got chugs, which you use later on. Yes. I'll give you a point if you can tell me where that's from. Yeah, anyway, so you got the chugs, the idea. No, it works a little lower down. So if you check the links around here, you'll be able to get links to both Spitfire and East West Studios, which is where this library is from. So that's pretty much the first tune. I'm just going to go back and fix these violas actually. If my mouse doesn't stop playing up, that is. So, Abbey Road. So there is an ensemble patch. But I think what I did before was use violin live. Was it? It's here. Let's have a go of this one because that should hopefully bring the balance back. So. Now, interestingly, it's going to take away the overlap there. I just seem to just give it a weird sound. Again, these were recorded 15, 20 years ago. My playing style was different then as well. Yeah, so we can maybe make that sound a little bit better, and that will hopefully bring out more of the sound library like this. And then we go into the actual track, so that should be fine. I could put them up in. Okay, let's have a listen to that and then we'll move on to Got the Fear. Here we go. We're having problems with this track. How weird. I wonder if they've reloaded. Surely this is not what we have to do. Let's see. live patch. Well, we're getting sound through there, so let's have a go. Here we go. Well, I'll tell you something, those trombones sound a lot much better. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to save it, and I'm going to load up the other one, and I will return to this one. It is sounding good. It does sound, it's really odd. It sort of sounds sometimes and then doesn't another time. How very weird. Oh, very weird. Okay, let's open up the other one. So this will take a little bit to load. Whilst that loads, we can just have a quick review. There's a couple of news articles that I found this week, which I'm sure you'll find hopefully quite interesting. There is, although it's probably not new news, if that makes sense, but according to Music Education Solutions, there is a new book that's been published for secondary music teachers. And let me just show you this actually really briefly. It's called Secondary Music Leaders Handbook. It's been out for maybe about a few weeks now, and just in case you missed it over the summer holidays, it's there and available, and is by It is by Dr. Elizabeth Stafford and Dan Francis. So it's basically a resource to help you teach students 11 to 18, and it supports music leaders as well. So I just thought I would share that with you. And the other book that's been released is this one, which I really like. I have the digital version of this, the Kindle version of this, and it's called Music the Business, and it is by Anne Harrison. And I think she's a doctor, but doesn't use the doctor prefix. So yeah, Dr. Anne Harrison, and she's written a fully revised and updated book on music business, including artificial intelligence, the legalities surrounding artificial intelligence, and why I believe I read quite recently that some musicians are choosing to take their likeness. I think it was in Denmark. I read this quite recently, and I believe that in Denmark, artists, in fact, people in general, but specifically artists, have actually taken to copyright their own physical image and their own audio image. So basically, if you can copyright your voice and copyright your face, then in theory, then it cannot be used. Or if it can, then you'll be able to claim quite a lot of royalties for that use. So there's a whole lot of legal things as well, because obviously as AI has improved its imaging and its mapping and its animation and its film, then by using simple prompts, you can then create some short animations or films, which I think as a tool would be good for things like B-roll and things if you want to animate a particular point that you're saying. That'd be really good, but unfortunately, it's not being used in that way. It's been used to spoof and parody various things, various people. So anyway, that being said, I just thought I would share those two things with you. So check out those two books if you are involved in music education, and check out the article about the Danish who have basically copywritten their faces. So here's a bit more of a rockier one then, and enjoy it. See how we go. We'll go to this one, won't we? So here we go. Check it at the beginning.
Had a piece of nothing, no, I turned it into something good. Didn't know what was happening. jaws on victory. Some things are just not meant to be, and then it happens and you really wanna know. Should you stand aside? Should you just go away from here? Go. I've got the fear in my heart, and I know that I've got to let it go. I've got the fear in my heart, and I know that I've got to let it go. I could be a better man if only time would heal me, but it don't seem the way. I could be a better man if only time would heal me, but it don't seem the way. Is it paranoia or is it just the case that the world wants a smile from my face? Well, if it wants it, then I gladly give it up. Some days I just don't give a fuck. It all fuck you to the just not meant to share, and then it happens and you really wanna know. Should you stand by? Should you just go away from here? Go. I've got the fear in my heart, and I know that I've got to let it go. I've got the fear in my heart, and I know that I've got to let it go. I could be the better man if only time would heal me, but it don't seem the way. I could be the better man if only time would heal me, but it don't seem the way. Didn't see it coming, no, I wish I could. Didn't see it coming, but I think I should just start it all again. Start it over again. Start it all again. I've got the fear in my heart, and I know that I've got to let it go. I've got the fear in my heart, and I know that I've got to let it go.
Okay, so basically, I tried to get on the mute there. Do apologise if one slipped through, but basically I can edit that in post, so you will not have a clue what I'm talking about. So ultimately, those sounds were similar to the previous one that we used, but in addition to this one, this particular tune had more MIDI guitars used in here. So if we just go and shoot over. So just because they were just quickly mixed already and had that really punchy sound just for speed, the ones I used were ones, I think it was the GarageBand's own. Again, these are Opus, these are East West Opists. Opus's ones. And this particular guitar, which I really like, is another lead electric guitar and carving bridge lead mod as well. It's just it sounds a bit further higher up in the register. I'm a bit frustrated with the mouse today because I had ready clicked and it was just not responding quite as quickly. So although I had things ready for muting, it just did not seem to want to mute for me. So hopefully there's an argument not for using Bluetooth mice. I'm definitely going back to USB, but all my USBs are used up with sound libraries. So you can absolutely argue there, a nice 80s sounding. Yeah, you can absolutely go 80s on that guitar, and I like it. I think I used a couple of these. You could probably get a lot much richer solos out of these than I probably could playing guitar myself. You'll see obviously in the corner, I do have guitars and I do have them ready to plug in. Don't know if you can see over that way, probably this way would be better. I do have guitars ready to sort of use and I can plug them in, but sometimes just when you've got the idea down, you just want to get it done. And this is an incredibly short space to go and reach it, plug it in and cramp into this setup at the minute is a bit of a crazy one. So I tend to use the keyboard sound as well. So that's good. And then of course we've got our favorite, I can select it, the Chug guitar. So we can go back to that one. Excellent, excellent. So the Chug has returned, as well as a really nice gritty bass guitar. Yeah, so we've got that one too. So that's sounding quite good. And I do like that one very, very much indeed. So we've got that one. And then as we move down, we've got quite a lot of audio in this track. We do have, different to the last track that you heard, but we do have drums, which are MIDI drums. They are quite quiet though, oddly. I couldn't really get them to sound too much without distorting. I mean, if I play that, I don't know how that's going to sound, if it's going to distort the track too much. But we can have a quick listen.
Had a piece of nothing, no, I turned it into something good. Didn't know what was happening, but I should have took the...
I mean, I don't know, it might work. Let's go into the heavier bits later on. See how that sounds.
I've got the fear in my heart, and I know that I've got to let it go. I've got the fear in my heart, and I know that I've got to let.
Again, those are all MIDI, so I can add in extra parts because an actual drummer will be able to add in more than I probably could with like this. Yeah, I mean, it's sounding good. It's sounding more realistic than it did back in, 10, 15, well, 20 years ago. So that's sounding okay. So yeah, I quite like using the drums on this one. And in addition, so what we had is lots and lots and lots of audio. So I think if I was just to solo the guitar, and is there a way I can just turn? Yes, there is. So here's how it sounds now on mouse play. I think we had at the beginning. Yeah, so what it was an actual, where's the actual guitar? Was it this one? There was one of them basically. I think if I saw this one, no, it's not it. There was a guitar, audio guitar that was just an acoustic. See if I can find it. I know, I think it was this one, but what we did was it was recorded as dry audio, so just an acoustic guitar. And then what we did was added in some metal. So using the GarageBand amp features, we kind of crafted a metal guitar. And not only that, but then when I took it into Logic, we bounced it out because in GarageBand it just was not running. It was just chugging away. When we're talking a really old laptop, so I had to bounce out the MIDI to audio, which is what this was. But then I think we recorded, yeah, because you can see it says clean jazz. So we had this setting where it was just clean jazz. Then we added in like metal over the top, and then what I did then was added even more. I just added in some spread. Yeah. Why oh why did I turn it off? Let me just have a listen. Yeah, so that's quite fascinating because that kind of has helped probably spread it out a bit more. So that's how we did it. So we just took a simple acoustic guitar and then added metal amp effects on it through GarageBand, which it has actually remembered it on here, but then when I unselect them, it doesn't go back to the original sound. So we must have recorded it and bounced it out. The same for these two as well, but these are muted. So because I didn't need two tracks doing the same thing, because that's when we had real mix problems. So yeah, and if I do that, that might and then to accentuate underneath, all I did was this. So just get back to keyboard view for you. So all I did was just underneath, which actually would have worked quite well. So you had the MIDI and the audio going over each other. And because it's detuned, again, and then match that with your, so you can actually, yeah, so you can really match in those guitars. So it's, and this is velocity triggered, so in other words, the harder you press the key, you get the long note, the gentler you press it. Yeah, so on and so forth. So I think that's really, really nice to be able to do that. Okay. So putting all that together again, you get really nice. I mean, probably we've got about maybe 20 or so tracks here. And again, about 8 of them are MIDI. But because those MIDI sounds, you get really good power with them. Mix them with just like, because all it really is 2 guitars which have spaced left and right. The chug guitar, which is slightly panned to the left, and then the bass guitar. And so I tried to make them more spaced out as well, which is which I was never very good at doing back in the day, but something that I just learned by watching other people. So giving space and then allowing that voice to come through. So in the olden days, I'd have, as you can see here, I'd have so many vocal lines. So I'd have like Greg's main voice, but then I also had another vocal track for Greg as well. And then I kind of left and right echo. So it kind of backs his up, which is quite nice. So
knives around in the raw, pointing at me. I snatch the beat from the jaws of victory. Something
just to kind of accentuate certain words. So that was basically what we did there, and it was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. So as I say, these are tunes which again, you may have some old MIDI tunes lying around on old floppies, drives, USB drives. I think that was definitely what I would recommend you doing if you want to sort of hone your craft in practicing and experimenting with what you've done in the past. And if it is a MIDI creation, even if you've done it in Sibelius, you can even do this in Sibelius. This is just another method of basically doing the same thing. So if you're in Sibelius and you want to load up these sounds, I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel to show you how you can do that. And also, if you want to go over to euansmithmusic and sign up for the mailing list, you'll be able to get some tips and tricks on how you can do not just this, but other aspects of music making as well. So I've got a list of sound libraries that I use. You can access those via the links around this video. If not, you can then go over to the link tree, which you'll find in my biography in the account bit at the top. I'm a bit sleepy this morning. It's been okay. It's been nice. It's been nice to have you join me. And as I say, do comment live or watch live or hashtag watch replay if you're watching on the replay. And yeah, I mean, I've kind of not been focused on any of the comments, unfortunately, so I do apologize about that. I've been focused on sharing with you, hopefully, some things that you can, some ideas you can get and how you can blend your sounds, and also how you can use existing creations that you've maybe done maybe years ago in MIDI or rough sketches and then bring them back to life. Even old sketches you can do on audio, import those audios, use the inbuilt digital audio workstation amps to then shape the sound a bit more. Experiment with equalization, EQ, which I can show you in a separate video, I think. And yeah, have a good and fun one with it. So I hope those are two good rocky tunes that you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for joining me on the live today. Thank you very much for watching the replay. There will be some specific videos coming very, very soon. I am working on those. I'm just working on my timetable at the moment. It's shaping up to be a phenomenally busy one in September, but I'm aiming to spend a good half day in creating weekly content again, as I used to be able to do back in the day. So I will be bringing that back on board. And so I will be doing every Sunday at 10 a.m. the Sunday sound sessions. So make sure you join me for those as well. And if you've enjoyed this live stream, then please make sure you drop a thumbs up down below. Share it with anyone who you think would find it beneficial. And I'll see you next Sunday, 10 a.m. Have an amazing week and good luck for all of you starting back at school. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.